Settle in, let your shoulders relax, and allow your mind to wander. Tonight, we're stepping into the Byzantine Empire, a world of glittering mosaics and shadowed intrigues, where golden domes rose above crowded streets, and every whisper carried the weight of betrayal. This is not a tale of grand heroics or sudden shocks, but a slow, soothing journey through a civilization of splendor and suspicion. Imagine yourself in Constantinople, the air thick with the scent of baking bread and distant sea salt, the hum of voices blending with the toll of church bells. As you ease into this story, let its rhythm guide you, unhurried, through the lives of ordinary Byzantines, the reign of Justinian and Theodora, the mystery of lost treasures, and the pageantry of the imperial court. There's no need to rush. Let the details unfold, and if sleep beckons, let it come gently. We begin with the daily life of Constantinople's people, where the pulse of the city shaped their days, their fears, and their fragile hopes. Picture yourself waking in a narrow tenement in Constantinople. The year is 532 CE, and the city is alive around you. Your home is a cramped room of brick and plaster, its walls damp with the breath of the Bosporus. The air carries the faint aroma of olive oil and charcoal, mingling with the clamor of vendors outside. You step onto the street, barefoot or in worn leather sandals, and join the throng: merchants, beggars, monks, all pressed together in the shadow of towering walls and golden-domed churches. This is Constantinople, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a city of 500,000 souls, where every day is a dance of survival and suspicion. Your morning begins with a walk to the agora, the marketplace, where the air is thick with the scent of fresh bread and smoked fish. The city runs on bread, baked in communal ovens and distributed in lines that snake through the streets. You wait, clutching a copper coin, as bakers shout orders, their hands dusted with flour. The emperor subsidizes this bread, a gesture to keep the city fed, but the lines are long and tempers flare. A man jostles you, his voice sharp with hunger, and you step back, wary of the knives that glint in crowded places. Food is plentiful when harvests are good: barley, porridge, lentils, olives, watered wine. But famine looms in lean years, and the poor eat boiled grass or scraps from the docks. The city is a maze of contrasts. Imagine weaving through streets so narrow your shoulders brush the walls, then emerging onto the mazy, the grand avenue lined with marble colonnades. Hagia Sophia looms in the distance, its dome catching the dawn, while chariots rumble past, their drivers cursing. You pass silk merchants from Persia, their bolts of fabric shimmering, and fishermen hauling nets, their hands rough with salt. The air hums with languages: Greek, Latin, Aramaic, blending with the chant of priests and the cries of children. Constantinople is a crossroads, its ports brimming with ships, its markets a kaleidoscope of spices, furs, and amber. But beneath this vibrancy lies unease. The city is crowded, its tenements packed, and fires are a constant threat, their smoke staining the sky. You learn to watch your step. 4 streets are slick with refuse, and pickpockets lurk in the bustle. Worse is the violence that flares without warning. Factions, blues and greens, supporters of rival chariot teams clash in alleys, their shouts echoing off stone. These are not just sports fans but political mobs, their loyalties tied to nobles and emperors. A wrong word, a wrong color worn, and you could be caught in a brawl, fists and clubs flying, the cobblestones marked by the fallen. You keep your head down, avoiding their gaze, and hurry past. Religion shapes your life as much as the city's pulse. Imagine pausing at a church, its mosaics glinting with gold, to light a candle for Saint Demetrius. The Byzantine Empire is Christian, its faith woven into every day. You cross yourself, murmuring a prayer, as monks pass, their robes swaying. But faith breeds division. Heretics, monophysites, Arians whisper in corners, and riots break out over theology, the air thick with accusations. You avoid these debates, knowing a careless word could mark you as an outcast. The emperor, God's viceroy on earth, watches through his spies, and informers lurk in taverns, their ears sharp for dissent. Your days are filled with labor. If you're a man, you might be a scribe, copying manuscripts in a scriptorium, your fingers stained with ink, or a porter, hauling amphorae of wine from the docks. Women spin wool, their spindles twirling as they gossip, or sell herbs in the market, their voices rising above the din. Children dart through the streets, running errands or begging for coins. Work is relentless, dawn to dusk, but there are moments of reprieve. At noon, you share a meal on a rooftop, flatbread and cheese spread on a cloth, the Bosporus sparkling below. At night, you gather in a tavern, sipping sour wine, the air warm with laughter and lute music. Yet paranoia threads through your life. The emperor's agents, the silentary move unseen, and a neighbor's grudge could lead to exile or worse. Taxes weigh heavily, your coins vanishing to fund wars or palaces. Plague is a shadow, its memory lingering from past outbreaks, when streets emptied and bodies were carted away. You pray daily, your faith is shield, but the city's pulse is restless, its beauty laced with danger. As evening falls, you return to your tenement. The stars faint above the city's glow. You lie on a straw pallet, the sounds of Constantinople bells waves, distant shouts lulling you towards sleep. The rhythm of this life, crowded and cautious, sets the stage for our next journey. Let us step forward now, into the reign of Justinian and Theodora, where ambition and chaos collided in the shadow of the Nicer riots. Let your mind drift now, away from the crowded streets of Constantinople, to a moment when the city teetered on the edge of collapse. Picture yourself in the year 532 CE, standing in the shadow of the Hippodrome, its arches looming as the roar of the crowd spills out. The air is sharp with the scent of sweat and dust, the tension palpable. This is the story of Justinian and Theodora, the emperor and empress whose reign shaped the Byzantine Empire, and the Nicer riots, a storm of rebellion that nearly ended it. Settle in, let the details unfold slowly, and feel the pulse of a city caught between ambition and chaos. Imagine Justinian, a man of unyielding vision, seated in the imperial palace. His face is stern, his eyes sharp, his robes heavy with purple silk color, reserved for emperors alone. Born a peasant in the Balkans, he rose through intellect and his uncle Justin's favor, becoming emperor in 527. He dreams of restoring Rome's glory, reconquering lost lands, and codifying laws that will outlast him. His Corpus Juris Civilis, a vast legal code, is being compiled, its scribes laboring over parchment in lamplit rooms. But Justinian is not a warrior. He is a strategist, his mind a labyrinth of plans, his faith in God absolute. He sees himself as God's viceroy, his rule divine. Beside him stands Theodora, his empress, a woman of fierce will. Picture her in a diaphanous gown, her neck adorned with pearls, her gaze piercing. Once an actress of profession scorned as near prostitution, she defied her origins to become Justinian's partner. Her past is whispered in the court, a childhood in the Hippodrome. Dancing for crowds, her wit and beauty catching Justinian's heart, she is no mere consort. She advises, schemes, and commands loyalty. Her chambers hum with spies and priests, her voice shaping laws that protect women and the poor. Together, they are a force. Their marriage a blend of passion and power. Their palace a fortress of ambition. But Constantinople's sea taxes are crushing, levied to fund Justinian's wars in Italy and Persia. The city's factions, the blues and greens, grow restless, their chariot rivalries masking deeper grievances. Imagine yourself in the Hippodrome. It stands packed with 100,000 souls, the air vibrating with cheers and jeers. The blues, backed by nobles, and the greens, favored by the masses, hurl insults, their colors blue cloaks, green sashes flashing in the sun. Justinian, watching from the imperial box, senses the undercurrent. The city is a tinderbox, and a single spark could ignite it. That spark comes in January 532. Two factions, united in their anger, riot after a chariot race, demanding lower taxes, and the release of jailed supporters. The cry "Nika victory" echoes through the streets, a chant that becomes a rebellion. Picture the chaos, crowds surging through the mazy, torches flaring, shops looted. The rioters, once divided, now unite. Their voices a roar that shakes the city's walls. They set fires, the smoke curling over Hagia Sophia, and storm the palace, demanding Justinian's head. The air is acrid, the streets littered with broken pottery, and the fallen, their lives lost in the frenzy. Justinian falters. In the palace, his advisors urge flight, their voices tense as the mob batters the gates. Picture him pacing, his purple cloak trailing, his dream of empire crumbling. The Bosporus glitters beyond, ships ready to carry him to safety. But Theodora rises, her voice steady, her words a blade. She refuses to flee, declaring she would rather die an empress than live. In exile, purple makes a fine shroud, she says, her resolve steeling Justinian. Imagine the moment. The empress, small but unyielding, rallying generals and guards. Her presence, a spark in the dark. Justinian acts. He sends his general Belisarius, a brilliant commander, to quell the revolt. Picture Belisarius, his armor glinting, leading loyal troops into the hippodrome, where rioters have gathered to crown a new emperor. The gates are sealed, trapping the mob. The clash is swift and brutal, swords flashing, the air thick with cries. Thousands fall, estimates say 30,000 there, blood soaking the sand. The hippodrome, a silent witness to the cost. The city quiets, the fires die, but the scars remain, etched in charred buildings and grieving families. The aftermath reshapes the empire. Justinian and Theodora rebuilt, their ambition undimmed. Hagia Sophia, damaged in the riots, is as a masterpiece, its dome a marvel of engineering, its mosaics glowing with divine light. Justinian's wars continue, reclaiming Italy and North Africa, while Theodora champions the marginalized, her laws shielding prostitutes and widows. But the Nika riots linger in memory, a reminder of the city's fragility. The couple's reign, marked by plague and war, will end with Theodora's death in 548 and Justinian's in 565. Their legacy a blend of glory and strife. That's as you linger. In this moment, imagine the palace at dawn, the air cool, the city stirring. Justinian and Theodora stand together, their faces weary but resolute, the weight of empire on their shoulders. Let this image fade as we turn to a quieter mystery, one of lost treasures and the imperial regalia that vanished into time. Let your mind drift now, away from the tumult of Justinian and Theodora's reign, to a quieter enigma that lingers in the shadows of the Byzantine Empire. Picture yourself in Constantinople's great palace, its halls adorned with mosaics that shimmer in the lamplight, the air heavy with the scent of myrrh and polished marble. Here, in the heart of imperial power, lay the sacred regalia, crowns, scepters, robes that marked the emperor as God's chosen. These treasures, steeped in ritual, were more than symbols. They were the empire's soul. Yet, over centuries, they vanished, leaving only whispers and questions. Settle in, let this mystery unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a culture where faith, art, and power wove a delicate tapestry. Imagine yourself standing before the imperial treasury, a vaulted chamber guarded by silent eunuchs, their faces impassive. Inside, the regalia gleam, a diadem crusted with pearls, its gold heavy with history, a scepter topped with a cross, its jewels catching the light, a purple robe, dyed with rare Tyrian dye, reserved for the emperor alone. These objects are sacred, used in coronations to anoint the ruler as God's viceroy. Each piece carries a story, some said, to come from Constantine the Great, the empire's first Christian ruler. Others, gifted by angels or forged in distant lands. Priests bless them, their chants echoing as courtiers bow, their breath hushed. In reverence, the regalia's role is woven into Byzantine culture, a world where ritual binds the earthly to the divine. Picture a coronation in Hagia Sophia, the air thick with incense, the dome glowing with golden mosaics of Christ and angels. The emperor, bareheaded, kneels as the patriarch places the diadem, its weight a reminder of duty. Thousands watch, nobles, clergy, soldiers, their murmurs blending with hymns. The regalia are not mere ornaments but a covenant, tying the emperor to God and the people to their ruler. Every detail, from the robe's folds to the scepter's grip, is choreographed, a dance of faith and power. This culture of ritual spills into daily life. Imagine yourself at a festival for the exaltation of the cross, the streets lined with icons, their frames glinting as priests process, swinging censers. Art is everywhere, mosaics in churches, their tesserae sparkling with stories of saints, manuscripts illuminated with lapis and gold, their pages soft under scribes' fingers. Music fills the air, hymns chanted in deep tones, their cadence soothing yet solemn. The Byzantines see beauty as divine, each icon a window to heaven, each song a prayer. Even merchants in the agora sell relics, slivers of bone or cloth believed to carry God's grace, but the regalia's fate is a mystery. Picture the empire in its later centuries, weakened by crusades and invasions. In 1204, the Fourth Crusade strikes a devastating blow. Western knights, meant to reclaim Jerusalem, turn on Constantinople, their greed outweighing their vows. The city is sacked, its churches looted, its streets choked with smoke and cries. The great palace is ransacked, its treasures scattered. Imagine the regalia in this chaos perhaps, a crown snatched by a knight, its pearls pried loose, a scepter hidden by a fleeing courtier, a robe torn in the fray. Some say the treasures were melted down, their gold feeding crusader coffers. Others whisper they were smuggled away, hidden in monasteries or shipped to Venice. The sources are vague, their accounts clouded by time. Venetian records mention Byzantine relics grounds, jewels displayed in San Marco. But are these the imperial regalia? Some historians point to the Ottoman conquest of 1453, when Constantinople fell to Mehmed II. The Turks, entering the ruined city, found palaces stripped, their treasures long gone. Perhaps the regalia were buried, their location entrusted to a dying priest, or maybe they were bartered, piece by piece, to fund the empire's wars. The Byzantines, meticulous record keepers, left no clear trail, their silence deepening the enigma. This mystery reflects the empire's soul. The regalia were not just objects but the heartbeat of a culture obsessed with divine order. Emperors, crowned with these treasures, were seen as God's shadow, their rule a fragile balance. Rituals governed life, baptisms, feasts, even executions, a thread in the cosmic tapestry. Imagine a scribe pausing to pray, his quill still, or a mother sewing a cross onto her child's tunic, her fingers trembling with faith. The regalia's loss mirrors the empire's slow fade, its glory dimming as invaders closed in. Yet the Byzantines' legacy endures. Their art inspired the Renaissance, their laws shaped medieval Europe, their faith still echoes in Orthodox churches. Picture yourself in a quiet chapel, its walls alive with mosaics, the air soft with candlelight. The regalia are gone, but their spirit lingers, a whisper of a world where every act was sacred. Let this image settle as we move to our final segment, to the glittering lives of the Byzantine elite, where pageantry and power danced under golden domes. Let your mind drift now, away from the enigma of the lost imperial regalia, to the opulent world of the Byzantine elite, where power and splendor intertwined beneath golden domes. Picture yourself stepping into the great palace of Constantinople, its marble halls cool underfoot, the air fragrant with rosewater and myrrh. Mosaics gleam on the walls, their colors dancing in the torchlight, while silk-clad courtiers move with practiced grace. This is the realm of emperors, nobles, and eunuchs, a life of pageantry and intrigue, where even the smallest gesture carried. Wait, settle in, let the details unfold gently, and feel the rhythm of a world both dazzling and precarious. Imagine yourself as a noble, a patricios, born into privilege within the empire's hierarchy. Your home is a sprawling mansion near the palace, its courtyards shaded by cypress trees, its floors inlaid with porphyry and green marble. Servants glide silently, offering silver trays of figs and honeyed wine. Your wealth comes from estates, in Anatolia or Thrace, worked by tenants who send grain, olives, and wool. Unlike commoners, you pay no taxes, your status a shield. But your life is bound by duty to the emperor, to God, to the empire's fragile order. Idleness is scorned. You serve as a governor, judge, or senator, your days filled with scrolls and whispers. Your appearance is a statement. Picture yourself in a silk tunic, its threads dyed with indigo and saffron, embroidered with crosses and lions. Your cloak, clasped with a gold fibula, sweeps the floor, its weight a reminder of rank. Only the elite wear silk, its import from China a mark of wealth. Women drape themselves in veils, their jewelry emerald pendants, pearl earrings. Softly sumptuary laws guard these privileges. A merchant in silk risks flogging, the empire's hierarchy etched in fabric and law. As you walk, the mazy heads bow, and you feel the gaze of those who serve you, their eyes wary yet respectful. The emperor's court is the heart of this world. Imagine entering the Chrysotriclinos, the golden reception hall, its dome glittering with mosaics of Christ. The emperor sits on a throne, his purple robe a cascade of Tyrian dye, its color so sacred that only he may wear it fully. Picture an emperor who wore purple once, perhaps a usurper like Basil I, who rose from peasant to throne through cunning and blood. His coronation, a fleeting moment of glory, was marred by plots, his reign ending in a coup, his purple stripped away. Such is the court's rhythm, splendor laced with danger, every smile hiding a knife. Eunuchs are the court's silent power. Picture 1, a cubicularius, his face smooth, his robe shimmering as he whispers to the emperor. Castrated young, often from borderlands, eunuchs serve as chamberlains, spies, or generals, their loyalty unbound by family ties. They guard the emperor's bedchamber, oversee treasuries, and carry messages through shadowed corridors. Their influence is immense, yet they are despised. Their voices mocked in taverns. Imagine a eunuch like Narses, who led armies for Justinian. His strategies outwitting bearded generals, his presence a quiet force in a world of bluster. Pageantry defines elite life. Picture a banquet in the palace, nobles reclining on couches, their laughter soft against the clink of silver goblets. Servants offer peacock roasted with cloves, dormice stuffed with pine nuts, and wine from Crete, its tang sharp on the tongue. Musicians play lyres, their notes blending with the hum of poetry, recitals, verses praising God or the emperor. Games like Canyon, a form of polo, entertain in the hippodrome, nobles cheering as horses thunder past. Yet every feast is a stage, alliances forged or broken, eyes watching for signs of disloyalty. Intrigue is constant. Imagine yourself in a council chamber, debating taxes or war, your words measured as spies. Take note, the emperor's silentary listen in markets, their reports shaping fates. A rival's careless jest could mean exile to a windswept monastery or a quiet end in a cell. Women wield power subtly, like Zoe Porphyrogeneta, who ruled through marriages and murders, her chambers a web of plots. Even family betrays, spindling scheme, cousins, poison, yet you navigate this maze. Your smile serene, your heart guarded. Daily, life has its pleasures. Picture a bathhouse, its steam thick with eucalyptus, mosaics of dolphins gleaming on the walls. You linger, gossiping with allies, the water easing your cares. At home, you read theology or Homer, your library stocked with codices, their parchment soft under your fingers. Your children attend schools, boys learning rhetoric, girls mastering embroidery and psalms. Marriages seal alliances, feasts stretching into dawn, the air rich with roast lamb and hymns. Faith anchors you daily prayers in a private chapel, its icons glowing, your knees pressed to stone. Yet duty binds you. As a noble, you fund churches or hospitals, your charity a path to divine favor. You lead troops in war, your armor heavy, the air thick with dust and cries, knowing defeat could strip your title. Priests among the elite live ascetically, their cells bare, their nights spent in prayer, yet they dine with emperors, their words shaping creeds. Every act, feasting, praying, plotting ties you to the empire's pulse. Its glory as fragile as the mosaics above. As you stand in the palace, the city's hum faint beyond its walls. Feel the weight of this life, radiant, ruthless, fleeting. Let this image linger as we move toward our conclusion, reflecting on the Byzantine world and the quiet comfort of your own night. Let your mind linger for a moment in the world of the Byzantine Empire, where golden mosaics cast their glow over lives of toil, ambition, and mystery. Picture Constantinople one last time, its domes catching the fading light, the Bosporus lapping gently against its walls. The air carries the faint toll of bells, the murmur of prayers, the rhythm of a city that pulsed with faith and fear. We've walked its crowded streets, stood in the shadow of Justinian and Theodora's reign, pondered the lost regalia, and glimpsed the splendor of the elite. Now, as the city fades, let its weight settle softly, like dust in an empty hall. Byzantines lived in a world of contrasts, beauty and betrayal, devotion and danger. Their lives, so distant from ours, were shaped by a relentless pulse, the need to survive, to honor their God, to hold their empire together. Imagine yourself there, one last time, pausing by a church, its candles flickering, your breath slow and steady. Their struggles, their rituals, their fleeting glories are now echoes, preserved in stone and story. Yet their legacy lingers, in the art that inspires, the laws that endure, the faith that still resonates, that as you rest tonight, let the rhythm of their lives fade into the quiet of your own. No crowds press around you, no spies whisper, no purple robes weigh you down. Your world is softer, warmer, its dangers distant. The Byzantine Empire, with its intrigues and golden dreams, is a memory now, a gentle tide to carry you towards sleep. Let it go, let it drift, and rest in the calm of this, moment, good night. Close your eyes, if you wish, and let your thoughts settle. Tonight, we're stepping far back in time, to the Paleolithic era, a world before cities, before kings, before the scratch of stylus on clay. This is the Stone Age, where life was raw, uncertain, and woven with the rhythms of earth and sky. Picture yourself in a vast, quiet landscape, the air sharp with frost, the horizon unbroken by walls or roads. The stars burn bright above, and the wind carries the faint howl of a distant wolf. This is not a tale of grand conquests or sudden thrills, but a slow, gentle journey through the lives of foragers, the story of a man frozen in time, the mysteries of ancient art, and the quiet power of early leaders. As you relax, let the story unfold, unhurried, and if sleep finds you, let it come softly. We begin with the daily life of a Stone Age forager, where every day was a delicate balance between survival and the wild. Imagine yourself waking at dawn, curled beneath a bison hide in a shallow rock shelter, its stone walls cold against your back. The air is crisp, heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth, and your breath clouds in the chill. It's 20,000 years ago, deep in the Paleolithic, and you are a forager, part of a small band of perhaps 20 souls, moving through a landscape of rolling plains and jagged hills. The world is vast, its silence broken only by the rustle of leaves or the cry of a hawk overhead. This is your life, shaped by the rhythm of survival, each day a quiet struggle against the cold, the hunger, and the unseen dangers that lurk beyond the firelight. Your morning begins with stiffness in your limbs, the hide barely softening the ground's hardness. You rise, your body wrapped in stitched hides, deer or fox, tanned by your kin, their edges frayed from use. Barefoot or in crude leather wrappings, you step out, the frost crunching underfoot. Your band stirs around you, a mother nurses a child, an elder sharpens a flint blade, its scrape a steady rhythm. No one speaks much, words are saved for necessity, the cold sapping energy. You share a handful of dried berries, their tartness sharp on your tongue, and a strip of smoked meat, tough but sustaining. Food is never certain, and your stomach often grumbles, a familiar ache. The day is spent foraging, a task that binds your band together. Picture yourself walking through a valley, the grass brittle underfoot, your eyes scanning for signs of life. Women and children gather roots, their hands digging into the earth, unearthing tubers dusted with soil. Men hunt, their spears tipped, with flint, stalking deer or boar through the underbrush. You join the gatherers, your fingers numb as you pluck hazelnuts or strip bark for cordage. The work is slow. The yield meager a basket of mushrooms, a few wild apples, their skin puckered by frost. On good days, the hunters return with game, its weight slung over their shoulders, the band's faces brightening. On bad days, you eat, grubs or chew lichen, its bitterness a reminder of lean times. The cold is a constant companion. Imagine the wind cutting through your hides, your hands chapped and raw. Winters are brutal, the sun weak, the nights endless. You huddle in rock shelters or caves, their walls blackened by years of fires. Driftwood and bone fuel the flames, their warmth fleeting, the smoke stinging your eyes. You sleep close, bodies pressed together, the hides shared to trap heat. Summer brings relief, but even then, rain soaks your camp, and mosquitoes hum in clouds. You move often, following herds or ripening plants. Your possessions, fewer flint knife, a bone needle, a pouch of ochre carried on your back. Danger is ever present. Picture yourself pausing, your heart quickening at a rustle in the grass. Wolves prowl, their eyes glinting in the dusk, and cave bears, massive and unpredictable, haunt the hills. A misstep could mean a twisted ankle, a wound that festers, or a fall from a cliff. Your life slipping away unnoticed. Childbirth is perilous, mothers and infants often lost, their absence a quiet grief. Disease, unnamed and mysterious, claims lives a fever, a cough, a body too weak to rise. Your band buries the dead simply, perhaps with a sprinkle of red ochre, their graves shallow under the earth. Yet there is beauty in this life. Imagine sitting by the fire at dusk, the stars sharp above, as an elder tells a story, her voice low and rhythmic, of ancestors and spirits. You sew a hide, your bone needle flashing, or carve a stick into a figure, its shape pleasing to your hand. Children laugh, chasing each other with sticks, their voices bright against the night. You share what you have: food, tools, warmth, knowing survival depends on the band. Rituals mark your days, a prayer to the sky before a hunt, a dance around the fire, your feet stamping the earth in time with a flint's clack. These moments, small but vivid, weave meaning into the struggle. Your world is one of instinct and endurance. You know the land intimately, where berries ripen, where elk migrate, where flint lies hidden. You read the sky, its clouds promising rain, its stars guiding your path. Yet the future is a shadow, unpredictable and vast. Hunger, cold, and danger are your constants, but so are the fire's warmth, the band's quiet bond, and the earth's stubborn gifts. As night falls, you curl beneath your hide, the shelter's stone cool at your back, the fire's embers glowing. The world is still, and you drift, carried by the rhythm of your life. This glimpse of a forager's world sets the stage for a singular discovery, a man who walked these lands and was found, frozen in time. Let us turn now to the story of CIA, the Iceman. Let your mind drift now, away from the daily rhythms of a Stone Age forager's life, to a single moment that brought the distant past into sharp focus. Picture yourself high in the Edstal Alps, on the border of modern Italy and Austria. The year 1991. The air is thin and cold, the peaks dusted with snow. Two hikers, their boots crunching on ice, stumble upon a figure half buried in a glacier, his body dark and still. This is Sai, the Iceman, a man who lived over 5,300 years ago, preserved by ice and time, offering a window into the Paleolithic world. Settle in, let his story unfold slowly, and feel the quiet weight of a life frozen in eternity. Imagine Ca as he was in life, a man of about 45, his frame lean but strong, his skin weathered by sun and wind. He stands perhaps 5 feet 2 inches tall, his face lined, his eyes scanning the rugged alpine slopes. It's around 3300 BCE, the late Neolithic or Copper Age, a time when stone tools still dominate but copper is emerging. C is a forager and hunter, part of a small band moving through the mountains, perhaps trading or seeking game. His life mirrors the one we glimpse, days of tracking deer, gathering roots, and huddling by fires, but his possessions, preserved with him, tell a richer tale. Picture his clothing, crafted with care. He wears a goatskin loincloth and leggings, their seams stitched with sinew, and a bearskin cap, its fur matted from use. His coat is woven from grass, a cloak against the alpine chill, and his shoes deerskin stuffed with hay cradle his feet, their soles worn thin. These are not crude garments but the work of skilled hands, tailored to shield him from snow and rain. His body bears tattoos, dark lines etched with charcoal, clustering on his back and legs. Perhaps they mark healing rituals, easing the pain of his worn joints, or carry spiritual meaning, a silent prayer to unseen forces. C's tools are a marvel of ingenuity. Imagine him gripping a flint dagger, its blade razor sharp, tied to a wooden handle with leather strips. His bow, made of yew, lies unfinished, a testament to his craft. Alongside arrows tipped with flint and fletched with feathers, a copper axe, its blade gleaming, hangs at his side, a rare treasure, its haft polished smooth. This axe marks him as someone of status, for copper is precious, mined and traded across distant valleys. In his pouch, he carries a fire-starting kit, pyrite and tinder fungicides, sparks a lifeline in the cold. A birch bark container holds embers, their warmth faint but vital, and another holds dried meat and sloes, tart plums for the journey. His final hours are a mystery, pieced together by science. Picture Tic climbing a high pass, the wind biting, his breath short. His stomach holds a meal of ibex meat and einkorn wheat, eaten hours before, suggesting he was not starving. But his body tells a darker story. An arrowhead is lodged in his shoulder, its flint buried deep, the wound fresh and fatal. Blood stains his cloak, his hand bears a defensive cut, and bruises mark his frame, hinting at a struggle. Was he ambushed by rivals, perhaps over trade or territory? Or did he flee a conflict within his band, his trust betrayed? The mountains offer no answers, their silence as vast as in his time. C's death was swift but not immediate. Imagine him stumbling, the pain sharp, his strength fading as he reached a gully. He collapsed, his body cradled by snow, the ice slowly claiming him. For millennia, he lay undisturbed, his possessions intact, his story silent. Glaciers shifted, preserving him in a frozen embrace until that September day in 1991, when melting ice revealed him to the world. The hikers' discovery sparked wonder. Their voices hushed as they gazed at a man who walked when pyramids were yet to rise. Scientists have since studied sea by their tools, peeling back layers of time. His DNA reveals ties to modern Europeans. His stomach bacteria hint at migration routes. His tools show a culture on the cusp of change. His arthritis and worn teeth speak of a hard life. His diet of meat and grains, a snapshot of survival. Yet, questions linger. Why was he alone? What drove the violence that ended him? Picture him now, not as a museum exhibit, but as a man, his breath clouding in the alpine air, his steps heavy with purpose or fear. His life, brief and brutal, was one of countless others, each a thread in the Paleolithic tapestry that as you linger on Cece's story, imagine the mountains around him, their peaks sharp against the sky, the snow soft underfoot. His world was cold, uncertain, but alive with meaning. Let this image fade as we turn to another mystery, one of art and spirit, etched on the walls of Lascau's caves. Let your mind drift now, away from the frozen solitude of C.I. the Iceman, to a deeper mystery that pulses in the heart of the Paleolithic world. Picture yourself standing at the mouth of a cave, in what is now southern France, the year 17,000 years ago. The air is cool, heavy with the scent of damp stone and moss. The darkness ahead, lit only by the flicker of a tallow lamp. This is Lascaux, a sacred gallery of ancient art, its walls alive with paintings of beasts and symbols. These images, created by foragers like those we've met, hold secrets we can only guess at. Settle in, let this enigma unfold slowly, and feel the quiet awe of a culture that spoke through color and shadow. Imagine stepping deeper into the cave, your footsteps soft on the uneven floor, the lamp's flame dancing in your hand. The walls narrow, their surfaces smooth and cold, until you reach the Hall of the Bulls, a vast chamber where the paintings begin. Before you, a herd of aurochs, massive wild cattle, seems to charge across the stone, their horns curving, their flanks rendered in ochre and charcoal. Horses gallop beside them, their manes flowing, while deer leap, their antlers delicate. The figures are vivid, their lines bold yet graceful, drawn with a mastery that belies the simplicity of the tools, reeds, feathers, and fingers dipped in pigment. The cave's silence wraps around you, broken only by the drip of water, as if the animals might stir. These paintings are not mere decoration. Picture yourself as a forager, entering this cave not as a visitor but as a participant in something profound. The Lascaux artists, your kin, chose this hidden place, far from daylight, to create their work. They ground ochre into red and yellow, charred wood for black, and mixed pigments with fat or water. Their hands steady in the flickering light. Scaffolds of wood or bone let them reach high walls, their breath clouding in the chill. Some images were blown through reeds, a fine mist of color settling on stone. Others etched with flint, their lines sharp as a blade. The act of painting was deliberate, a labor of hours, perhaps days, in a space both sacred and perilous. What did these images mean? Imagine sitting by a fire outside the cave, an elder's voice low as she speaks of spirits or ancestors. Scholars today offer theories, but none are certain. Perhaps the paintings were a form of hunting magic, the act of depicting animals ensuring success in the chase. Aurochs and horses were vital prey, their meat and hides sustaining the band. By rendering them, did the artists seek to bind their spirits, to draw them near? Yet many figures, lions, rhinos, a lone human, were not hunted, suggesting deeper purpose. Some see the cave as a shaman's sanctuary, where visions born of trance or ritual were captured in pigment. The walls a bridge to the spirit world. Picture a ritual here, the cave lit by lamps, their flames casting shadows that dance with the painted beasts. A figure, perhaps a shaman, chants, her voice echoing as the band gathers. Their faces painted with ochre, their bodies swaying. Hands press against the wall, leaving prints, some missing fingers, perhaps a mark of sacrifice or identity. Dots and grids, etched beside the animals, might be tallies, maps, or cosmic signs, their meaning lost. The cave feels alive, its air, thick with purpose, the paintings not just images but presences, guiding or guarding the band. You feel small, yet part of something vast, the earth's pulse echoing in the stone. Lascaux's art is not alone. Imagine other caves. Altamira, Shavat, where similar galleries exist. Their walls adorned with bison, ibex, and enigmatic shapes. Across Europe, from 40,000 to 10,000 years ago, foragers painted, their styles distinct, yet shared, a thread of culture spanning continents. They carved figurines, two women with rounded forms, lions in ivory left, in caves or camps. Music joined their art, bone flutes, whistling soft tunes, drums of hide pulsing in the night. These acts wove meaning into their lives, a response to a world of beauty and terror. Yet the cave's purpose remains elusive. Were they temples, visited rarely, or communal spaces, alive with stories? Did men, women, or children paint, or was it the shaman's role? The absence of writing leaves us guessing. The painting's a silent poem, modernized sea art, but for the foragers, they were likely more prayers, memories, or maps of the soul. Picture yourself leaving the cave, the daylight soft after the dark, the paintings lingering in your mind like a dream. The artists are gone, their bones dust, but their work endures, a whisper of their world. As you hold this image, the caves glow, the animal's silent charge. Let it guide us to our final segment, to the lives of those who led these bands, the tribal chiefs and shamans whose strange spiritual roles shaped the Stone Age. Let your mind drift now, away from the shadowed caves of Lascaux and their silent paintings, to the heart of a Paleolithic band, where a few held sway over the rest. Picture yourself in a small encampment, nestled in a valley 15,000 years ago. The air sharp with frost, and the scent of burning pine. The fire crackles, its light casting shadows on the faces of your kin. But two figures stand apart, a tribal leader, his gaze steady, and a shaman, her presence quiet yet commanding. These are the elite of the Stone Age, not kings or nobles, but those who guided, judged, and bridged the world of flesh and spirit. Settle in, let their lives unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a world where leadership was as much about survival as it was about mystery. Imagine the tribal leader, a man or woman chosen not by birth but by strength, skill, or wisdom. Picture him, perhaps weathered, his hide cloak adorned with fox teeth, his spear resting nearby, its flint tip gleaming. He is no tyrant, for the band is small, its bonds tight, but his word carries weight. He decides when to move camp, his eyes tracing the flight of geese to predict the herd's path. He leads hunts, his steps sure through the forest, signaling with a raised hand as deer graze unaware. His voice settles disputes over a shared kill or a stolen tool, his judgment firm but fair, knowing anger could fracture the band's fragile unity. His life is not one of luxury but of responsibility. Picture him eating with the others, his portion no larger, cross-legged on a hide, chewing smoked fish and berries. His shelter is like yours, a lean-to of branches or a rock overhang, its floor softened with moss. Yet his status shows in small ways, a necklace of shells, traded from distant coasts, clinking softly, a flint blade finer than most, its edge honed by his own hand. He carries the band's trust, earned through years of leading successful hunts, or guiding them through blizzards, his scars a map of survival. Failure, a missed hunt, a lost child could erode that trust. Another rising to take his place. The leader's role is practical but tinged with the sacred. Imagine a council by the fire, the band gathered as he speaks, his voice low, deciding whether to follow the river or climb the ridge. He consults the elders, their murmurs blending with the wind, but also the shaman, whose insights carry the weight of the unseen. He might lead a ritual before a hunt, sprinkling ochre on the ground, his hands steady as he invokes the spirits of elk or boar. His authority rests on results, food, safety, cohesion, but also on his ability to align the band with the rhythms of the world, the stars, and the seasons. Now picture the shaman, a figure apart, her role stranger and more profound. She is often a woman, though men serve too, chosen for visions, dreams, or a brush with death that marked her as touched. Her appearance sets her apart, a cloak of raven feathers, her face painted with red ochre, her eyes distant yet piercing. She carries a pouch of herbs, juniper, yarrow and bones etched with lines, tools for healing or divining. Her shelter holds oddities, a deer skull, a crystal that catches the firelight, a flute carved from a vulture's bone. She is both revered and feared, a bridge to the spirits that govern life and death. Her days are woven with the band's needs. Imagine her tending a sick child, her hands pressing herbs into a wound, her chants soft but insistent, the air thick with sage smoke. She reads omens, a hawk's circle, a cracked bone tossed in the fire, her words shaping the band's path. Before a hunt, she might enter a trance, her body swaying, her voice rising in a wordless song. Guided by mushrooms or fasting, the band watches, silent, as she speaks of spirits or ancestors, her visions guiding the hunter's spears. Her role is to keep the band in balance with the unseen, ensuring the earth's gifts continue. The shaman's spiritual role is central to the band's culture. Picture a ritual at dusk, the band gathered in a cave, its walls faintly painted. With bison and stars, she leads a dance, her feet stamping, the drum's pulse echoing off stone. Hands clap, voices hum, children mimicking her steps. She scatters ash or ochre, her movements deliberate, binding the band to the spirits of the land. Burials are her domain. To imagine her laying a body in a shallow grave, its knees bent, a flint blade placed beside it, her voice murmuring as ochre dust settles. These acts give meaning to life's fragility, easing the band's grief. Yet leadership has its burdens. The tribal leader faces danger. Imagine him facing a charging boar, his spear steady, knowing a miss could mean death or disgrace. His decisions carry risk. A wrong path could lead to starvation, a failed raid to retribution. The shaman's life is lonelier still. Her visions isolate her, her failures and healed sickness, poor omens blamed on her. Picture her waking from a trance, her body trembling, the band's eyes wary. She might be gifted food or hides, but she eats apart. Her role a mantle of solitude. Their lives, though elite, are not detached from the band's struggle. Imagine the leader repairing a spear, his hands calloused, or the shaman weaving a basket, her fingers deft. They share the cold, the hunger, the fear of wolves circling the camp. Their status is fluid, earned daily, lost if they falter. Yet they shape the band's soul through hunts, rituals, stories told by firelight. Picture them now, silhouetted against the flames, the leader's voice steady, the shaman's chant rising, the band's eyes reflecting the glow. Their world is harsh, but their roles give it purpose. As you hold this image, the fire's warmth, the valley's quiet, it guides us to our final reflection, a gentle return from the Stone Age to the comfort of your own night. Let your mind rest now, lingering in the vast, quiet world of the Paleolithic, where the fire's glow and the rhythm of survival shaped every moment. Picture yourself one last time in that ancient landscape, the stars sharp above, the air cool. With the promise of dawn, a small band huddles by a rock shelter, their faces lit by embers, their lives bound by the hunt, the cave's art, and the whispers of their leaders. We've walked their paths through the cold and hunger of daily life, the frozen legacy of CI, the mysteries of Lascaux's paintings, and the strange roles of chiefs and shamans. Now, as this world fades, let its weight settle softly, like snow on a silent plain. The Stone Age was a time of endurance, where every step was a negotiation with the earth, every night a victory over the dark. Their lives, so distant from ours, were woven with struggle, but also with meaning found in the flicker of a painted bison, the chant of a shaman, the shared warmth of a fire. Imagine their hands, calloused and steady, shaping flint or sewing hides, their eyes scanning the horizon for signs of hope. Their world was raw, uncertain, but alive with purpose, its echoes lingering in the tools and art they left behind. As you lie here tonight, let the Paleolithic drift away, its vastness giving way to the comfort of your own space. No wind bites your skin, no wolves prowl beyond the firelight. Your world is softer, its rhythms gentler, its dangers far removed. The foragers' struggles, their art, their fleeting lives are now a quiet story, a lullaby to carry you toward rest. Let them go, let the silence deepen, and sink into the peace of this moment. Good night. Ease into the quiet of this moment, and let your mind wander back to a time when civilization was young, its roots sinking into the muddy banks of ancient rivers. Tonight, we journey to Mesopotamia, the cradle of cities, where fields of barley stretched under a relentless sun, and gods and kings ruled every breath. This is not a tale of grand triumphs or sudden clashes, but a slow, soothing exploration of a world both vibrant and unforgiving. Picture yourself there, in a land of reeds and dust, the air thick with the scent of wet earth and distant smoke, the hum of voices rising with the dawn. As you settle in, let the rhythm of this story guide you through the toil of farmers, the rise of a legendary king, the mysteries of an ancient epic, and the opulence of the elite. There's no hurry. Let the details unfold, and if sleep calls, let it come gently. We begin with the daily life of a Mesopotamian farmer, whose world was shaped by the river's pulse and the gods' demands. Imagine yourself waking in a small, mud-brick house, its walls cool against the pre-dawn chill, in a village near the Euphrates River. Around 2500 BCE, the air carries the scent of damp clay and straw, and the faint bleat of goats stirs you from sleep. You rise from a reed mat, your body stiff from yesterday's labor, and step outside, barefoot, onto ground hardened by the sun. The horizon glows faintly, the river a silver thread winding through fields of green barley. This is Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, where life depends on water, toil, and the will of unseen powers. Your days as a farmer are a constant rhythm, a struggle to coax life from the earth under the weight of taxes, floods, and divine expectation. Your morning begins with the river. Picture yourself walking to the fields, a wooden hoe slung over your shoulder, its handle worn smooth by your hands. The Euphrates is both lifeline and master, its waters feeding the crops but demanding endless work. You labor on irrigation canals, their banks slick with mud, your feet sinking as you dig with others from your village. The canals, a web of channels stretching across the plain, must be cleared of silt, their walls reinforced with reeds and clay. The work is grueling, your back aching under the sun's glare, the air heavy with the hum of flies. A broken canal could starve your fields, leaving your family hungry, so you work until your hands blister. The rhythm of digging a steady beat. The fields are your world. Imagine planting barley, its seeds scattered in furrows, your fingers brushing the warm earth. Emmer, wheat, and sesame grow nearby, their stalks swaying in the breeze. You tend date palms, their fruit sweet but hard-won, and small plots of onions and lentils, their colors bright against the soil. The harvest is a race against time, your sickler crescent of flint-cutting stalks as sweat beads on your brow. Neighbors work beside you, their voices low, sharing stories of floods or omens. The land yields enough to live, but barely. Parch the fields, locusts descend in clouds, and the river's whims are as fickle as the gods. Taxes are a constant burden. Picture a royal overseer arriving, his tablet tucked under his arm, his eyes sharp as he counts your grain. The king, ruling from a city like Uruk or Ur, claims a share of your harvest, stored in vast granaries for the palace or army. Temples, too, demand their due, their priests proclaiming it the god's right. You measure out barley with a clay vessel, its weight heavy in your hands, knowing it leaves less for your family. Taxes are paid in kind grain, wool, even labor. Your days sometimes spent repairing city walls or digging royal canals, far from home. Refusal brings punishment, a whip sting or a debt that binds you to the temple's service. The temples loom large in your life. Imagine the ziggurat of your city, its steps rising like a mountain, its summit crowned with a shrine to Inanna or Enlil. You bring offerings, grain, a lamb, a jar of beer. Your steps slow on the dusty path, your heart heavy with awe. The temple is a storehouse, its granaries packed with your harvest, meant to feed priests, scribes, and the poor in lean times. But whispers say the priests keep the best for themselves, their robes finer than yours, their meals rich with dates and fish. You pray anyway, scattering barley at the altar, the air thick with incense, hoping the gods will spare your fields from flood or blight. Floods are your greatest fear. Picture the Euphrates swelling, its waters turning muddy and wild, breaching the canals you labored to build. A flood could sweep away your crops, your home, even your kin, leaving the land a sodden ruin. You watch the sky, anxious for signs of rain, and listen to elders' tales of past deluges, their voices low with warning. When the river calms, you rebuild, your hands shaping new mud bricks, your heart heavy with the cycle of loss and recovery. Yet the river also brings life, its silt enriching the soil, its flow a promise of another harvest. Your days end simply. Imagine sitting outside your home, the air cooling as stars emerge. You share a meal with your family, flatbread, lentils, a sip of sour beer eaten on a reed mat. The fire's glow softening the night. Children play nearby, shaping clay into small figures, while an elder hums a hymn, its cadence soothing. Your life is hard, your hands rough, your future uncertain. But there's comfort in the villages, goats bleating, neighbors talking, the river's distant murmur. You lie down, the mat cool beneath you, and let the sounds of Mesopotamia carry you to sleep. This life of mud and toil sets the stage for a man who rose from it, shaping the first empire. Let us turn now to the story of Sargon of Akkad. Let your mind drift now, away from the muddy fields and relentless toil of a Mesopotamian farmer, to a time when one man's ambition reshaped the land between the rivers. Picture yourself in the city of Kish, around 2334 BCE, the air thick with dust and the clamor of a bustling market. The sun beats down on mud-brick walls, and the Euphrates glints nearby, its waters feeding fields and dreams. This is the story of Sargon of Akkad, a man of obscure origins who forged the world's first known empire, binding cities and peoples under his rule. Settle in, let his journey unfold slowly, and feel the quiet weight of a life that changed the course of history. Imagine Sargon as a young man, his frame lean but strong, his eyes sharp with purpose. The tales of his birth, recorded centuries later, are woven with myth. They say he was born to a priestess, forbidden to raise a child, and set adrift in a reed basket on the river, saved by a water drawer who raised him as his own. Picture him growing up in Kish, a city of scribes and merchants, his hands calloused from labor, perhaps tending gardens or carrying water. He is not of noble blood, but his mind is quick, his presence commanding. He serves in the court of King Yozababa, a cupbearer, his role humble but close to power, his ears catching whispers of politics and war. Kish is a city of rivalries, one of many in Sumer, where city-states like Uruk-yor and Lagash vie for dominance. Imagine the tension in the streets, warriors in leather armor passing by, their spears gleaming as priests chant from the ziggurat steps. Yozababa rules uneasily, his throne threatened by Lugal-Zagassi, king of Amma, who seeks to unite Sumer under his banner. Sargon, though lowborn, senses opportunity. The sources are murky, but they suggest he betrays his king, perhaps driven by ambition or survival. Picture him rallying supporters, his voice steady, promising strength and order in a fractured land. By cunning or force, Sargon seizes Kish. Imagine him standing in the palace, a simple tunic now replaced by a robe fringed with wool, a bronze dagger at his side. He is no longer a servant, but a king, his rule fragile yet bold. He turns his gaze to the south, to the cities of Sumer, their walls high, their armies fierce. Over decades, he wages war, his campaigns relentless but calculated. Picture his warriors, armed with spears and slings, marching across dusty plains, their shields of reed and hide raised against arrows. City after city falls. Uruk, Lagash, Umma, their kings humbled, their granaries claimed. Lugal-Zagassi, once a conqueror, is defeated, led in chains through the gates of Nippur. A public display of Sargon's might. Sargon's vision stretches beyond Sumer. He marches north, to the lands of Akkad, a region of Semitic-speaking peoples, and beyond, to the cedar forests of Lebanon and the silver mines of Anatolia. Picture his army fording rivers, their sandals sinking in mud, their banners fluttering with symbols of the sun god Shamash. He builds a new capital, Akkad, its location now lost, its walls rising from the plain. The city hums with scribes recording tribute barley, silver, lapis lazuli, carried by caravans from distant lands. Sargon's empire, the first of its kind, binds Sumer and Akkad, its reach vast, its rule enforced by governors loyal to him alone. His reign is not without struggle. Imagine rebellions flaring, cities chafing under his taxes, their priests decrying his rule as an affront to the gods. Sargon quells them, his campaigns swift, the fields marked by the fallen, their lives fading into the earth. He is a warrior, but also a unifier, blending Sumerian and Akkadian cultures. He appoints his daughter Enheduanna as high priestess of Nena in her hymns among the first known poems praising the gods and her father's glory. Picture her in a temple, her voice rising, her words etched on clay, a bridge between divine and mortal power. Sargon's life is long, perhaps 50 years as king, but the end is shadowed. Picture him, now aged, his hair grey, his hands steady but worn, facing revolts in his final days. The empire, vast and fragile, strains under its own weight. When he dies, around 2279 BCE, his sons inherit a restless realm, their reigns marred by uprisings. Yet Sargon's legacy endures, the idea of empire, a single rule over many lands, shaping Mesopotamia for centuries. His story, half fact, half myth, is carved on tablets, his name whispered in markets and temples. As you linger on Sargon's rise, imagine Akkad at its peak, its streets alive with traders, its ziggurats piercing the sky. His ambition, born in the dust of Kish, reshaped a world of farmers and kings. Let this image fade as we turn to a different legacy, one of story and spirit, found in the ancient verses of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Let your mind drift now, away from the conquests of Sargon and his sprawling empire, to a quieter realm where stories wove the heart of Mesopotamian culture. Picture yourself in a temple courtyard in Uruk, around 2100 BCE, the air warm with the scent of cedar and baked clay. The sun dips low, casting shadows over his ziggurat steps as a scribe recites from a clay tablet, his voice steady, his words carrying the tale of Gilgamesh, a king whose legend blurs the line between myth and memory. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a story etched in cuneiform, a window into the soul of a civilization. Settle in, let this mystery unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a world where gods and mortals walked together. Imagine sitting cross-legged, on a reed mat, the crowd around you hushed, their faces lit by torchlight. The scribe's words paint Gilgamesh, king of Uruk, a man of unmatched strength, two-thirds divine, his presence towering like the city's walls. The epic, one of the oldest known stories, begins with his rule, his city grand, its gates of cedar, its ziggurat touching the stars. But Gilgamesh is restless, his ambition a burden to his people, who labor under his demands, their hands shaping bricks for his monuments. The gods, hearing their pleas, create Enkidu, a wild man from the steppe, his body matted with hair, his heart untamed, to challenge the king. Picture their meeting, a clash in Uruk's streets, their fists pounding like hammers on stone. They wrestle, dust rising, until they tire, their laughter breaking the tension, forging a bond deeper than kinship. Together, they seek glorious, slaying Humbaba, the forest guardian, his roar echoing through cedars, killing the bull of heaven, its hooves shaking the earth. These deeds, the scribe recounts, are bold but costly, angering the gods. Enkidu falls ill, his strength fading, his life slipping away as Gilgamesh watches. Helpless, the air heavy with grief, the king, struck by mortality, sets out to find eternal life. His journey a quest for meaning in a world of fleeting days. The epic's details are vivid, its images haunting. Imagine Gilgamesh crossing a sea of death, his boat swaying on dark waters, to find Utnapishtim, a man granted immortality after surviving a great flood. Picture Utnapishtim, his face lined, his voice soft, telling of a deluge that drowned the world, a tale echoed in later myths. He challenges Gilgamesh to defy sleep, but the king fails, his eyes heavy, his dreams fleeting. The story ends not with triumph, but with acceptance. Gilgamesh returns to Uruk, his heart wiser, his legacy the city's enduring walls. Was Gilgamesh real, or a myth woven from memory? Picture a scribe in Uruk, his stylus pressing into clay, recording tales of a king who may have ruled around 2700 BCE. Fragments of truth linger Uruk's walls, excavated today, match the epic's descriptions, their bricks baked by ancient hands. Kings in Mesopotamia often claimed divine lineage, their deeds exaggerated in hymns. Gilgamesh may have been such a king, his life stretched into legend by poets like Inhuana, Sargon's daughter, whose verses shaped Sumerian lore. The epic grew over centuries, its versions found in Babylon, Assyria, even distant Hittite lands, each retelling adding layers to the tale. The story reflects Mesopotamia's soul. Imagine its people, farmers and priests, gathering to hear it, their lives mirrored in its themes. Mortality haunts them, as floods and famines steal loved ones, their graves marked with simple pots. The gods Inanna, Enlil, ever present, their will as unpredictable as the Euphrates. The epic's flood recalls real disasters, the river's wrath a constant fear, its silt both curse and blessing. Friendship, too, binds the story, as it did their communities, where shared labor and offerings held villages together. Picture a mother whispering the tale to her child, her voice soothing, the words a comfort against the dark. The act of storytelling was sacred. Imagine scribes in temple schools, their fingers stained with clay, learning cuneiform's wedges, each sign a labor of precision. They copied the epic, their tablets stacked in archives, preserving it through wars and floods. Bards sang it at festivals, their lutes plucking soft notes, the air rich with dates and beer. Art complemented the words, seals carved with heroes and beasts, their scenes echoing Gilgamesh's battles. These stories gave meaning to a world of toil, tying mortals to the divine, their hopes etched in clay and song. The epic's mystery lies in its blend of truth and dream. Was Gilgamesh a king, his deeds rooted in history, or a symbol of human striving? The tablets offer no final answer, their cracks a reminder of time's passage. Picture yourself in Uruk's glow, the scribe's voice fading, the crowd dispersing. Into the night, the story lingers, a bridge to a world where gods walked among men, their tales a lullaby for the soul. Let this image guide us to our final segment, to the lives of those who dwelled in the ziggurat court: scribes, priests, and overseers, the elite of Mesopotamia. Let your mind drift now, away from the ancient verses of Gilgamesh, to the heart of Mesopotamian power, where the elite shaped the world from the shadow of towering ziggurats. Picture yourself in the city of yore, around 2100 BCE, standing before a ziggurat, its mud brick steps rising like a mountain toward the sky. The air is warm, fragrant with incense, and the faint tang of river silt, the hum of chants blending with the bustle of the city. This is the world of scribes, priests, and overseers, the privileged few who served gods and kings, their lives a blend of duty, splendor, and subtle peril. Settle in, let their story unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a life bound by clay, tablets, divine will, and the weight of authority. Imagine yourself as a scribe, trained from youth in a temple school, your fingers stained with the dust of clay. Your home is a modest mud brick house near the ziggurat, its walls smoothed with plaster, its courtyard shaded by date palms. You rise at dawn, your linen tunic crisp, and walk to the temple complex, a sprawling maze of courtyards and shrines. Your work is sacred. You etch cuneiform onto tablets, each wedge precise, recording taxes, hymns, or royal decrees. Picture your reed stylus pressing into soft clay, the tablet drying under the sun's gaze, your script preserving the city's heartbeat: grain stores, trade routes, omens read in the stars. Your role sets you apart. Unlike farmers toiling in fields, you eat well-bred fish, dates sweetened with honey served on ceramic plates in a temple hall. Your status grants privileges: a silver ring on your finger, a cloak fringed with blue, traded from distant lands. Yet your life is not idle. You labor long hours, your eyes straining in lamplight, cataloging tribute or copying myths like Gilgamesh's tale. Mistakes are costly and miswritten. Sign could anger a priest or king. Your tablet smashed, your name shamed. You memorize hundreds of signs, their shapes a language of gods and men. Your mind a bridge between the earthly and divine. Now picture a priest, perhaps a high priestess like Enheduanna, Sargon's daughter, her presence commanding reverence. She dwells within the temple, her chambers adorned with woven rugs and bronze lamps. Her robes are heavy with embroidery, her hair bound with lapis beads, their clink soft as she moves. Her days are filled with ritual. At dawn, she offers barley and wine to Inanna, her voice rising in a hymn, the air thick with myrrh. She oversees, sacrifices a lamb, its life given to appease the gods, its blood carefully channeled into sacred vessels. The temple is her domain, its granary is full, its scribes and servants bowing as she passes. Her role is both power and burden. Imagine her reading omens in a sheep's liver, her fingers tracing its curves, her words shaping the king's decisions: war, harvest, or marriage. She prays for the city, her chants warding off floods or plagues, her heart heavy with the gods' demands. The people revere her, offering gifts of wool or oil, but they also watch, quick to blame if crops fail or disease spreads. Her life is disciplined. She fasts, bathes in ritual pools, her body purified to serve the divine. Yet she wields influence, advising rulers, her words carved into clay, her hymns enduring beyond her years. Overseers, the king's agents, hold a different power. Picture one, striding through the market, his tablet tucked under his arm, his bronze mace a symbol of authority. He lives in a grand house, its walls painted with lions, its floors cooled by slaves fanning palm fronds. His role is to enforce order, collecting taxes, inspecting canals, or marshalling laborers for the king's palace. Imagine him counting sacks of barley, his voice sharp as farmers' bow, their hands trembling. He eats richly roast duck, sesame cakes, beer brewed with dates, but his wealth comes at a cost. Rebellion simmers, farmers resent his demands, and a king's displeasure could mean exile or worse. The elite's lives are woven with splendor. Picture a feast in the palace, tables laden with pomegranates, fish, stew, and barley bread. The air alive with lutes and laughter. Nobles recline on cushions, their jewelry glinting, discussing trade or war. Priests recite prayers, their voices blending with the clink of cups. Festivals fill the calendar, New Year's rites, when the king renews his bond with the gods, or harvest feasts, when dancers spin, their anklets jingling. Art surrounds them, seals carved with heroes, statues of winged bulls, their eyes of shell gleaming in torchlight. Yet danger lurks. Imagine an overseer walking the city at dusk, his guards close, wary of assassins in the shadows. Priests navigate rivalries, their omens challenged by skeptics. Scribes fear errors, their tablets audited by unforgiving masters. The king's court is a web of intrigue, alliances shifting like river silt. Even the elite serve the gods, their lives tied to the same fears as farmers' floods, famines, divine wrath. Picture a priestess praying at midnight, her lamp flickering, or a scribe pausing to offer incense. Their faith a shield against uncertainty. Their world is one of contrast, privilege amid toil, power under divine scrutiny. Imagine the ziggurat, at dawn, its silhouette sharp, the city stirring below. The elite, with their tablets and rituals, held Mesopotamia together, their lives a delicate balance of duty and desire. Let this image linger as we move toward our conclusion, reflecting on a civilization born from mud and ambition. Settle into the quiet of this moment, and let your mind wander to a world of lush jungles and towering stone temples, where the hum of cicadas blends with the distant chant of monks. Tonight, we journey to the Khmer Empire, centered in what is now Cambodia, where the grandeur of Angkor Wat rose from a land of sweat and survival. This is not a tale of high drama or sudden thrills, but a slow, soothing exploration of a civilization both majestic and merciless. Picture yourself in the heart of Angkor, the air heavy with the scent of rain-soaked earth and jasmine, the horizon pierced by spires of stone. As you relax, let the rhythm of this story carry you through the toil of farmers, the reign of a visionary king, the mystery of a city's fall, and the splendor of its elite. There's no rush. Let the details unfold, and if sleep beckons, let it come gently. We begin with the daily life of the Khmer people, where the land and the monsoons shaped every moment of existence. Imagine yourself waking at dawn in a wooden stilt house, raised above the damp earth, in a village near the great city of Angkor. Around 1150 CE, the air is warm, thick with the scent of wet leaves and charcoal, as the first light filters through palm fronds. You lie on a woven mat, the hum of the jungle frogs croaking, birds calling stirring you from sleep. Your home is simple, its bamboo walls creaking softly, its roof thatched with palm. You rise, your feet bare on the cool floor, and step into a world where survival depends on rice, rain, and the strength of your hands. This is the life of a Khmer farmer, a rhythm of labor and hope under the shadow of the gods. Your day begins with the fields. Picture yourself walking along a raised path, the ground soft with mud, to a patchwork of rice paddies shimmering under the morning mist. Wet rice farming is the heart of your existence, the crop feeding villages and cities alike. You wade into the paddy, the water warm around your calves, and bend to plant rice seedlings, their green tips piercing the mud. The work is backbreaking, your body stooped for hours, the sun's heat heavy on your neck. You clear canals with a wooden spade, ensuring water flows from the great reservoirs, berries built by kings to trap the monsoon's gift. The air hums with the calls of your neighbors, their voices blending with the splash of water, as you share the load, knowing a single failed crop could mean hunger. The monsoons rule your life. Imagine the rains arriving, clouds dark and heavy, the air electric with their promise. For months, water floods the fields, turning the land into a mirror of the sky. You rejoice, but also fear too much rain drowns the rice, too little parches. It during the wet season. You repair your home, weaving new mats or patching the roof, your hands sticky with sap. In the dry season, the earth cracks, dust coating your feet, and you pray at a small shrine, offering rice and flowers to the gods, Hindu deities like Vishnu or local spirits, to ensure the rains return. The cycle is relentless, your life tethered to the sky's whims. Beyond rice, you tend other tasks. Picture yourself harvesting mangoes, their juice sweet on your fingers, or cutting banana leaves for cooking. Women weave baskets, their fingers deft, or grind rice into flour. The stones scrape a steady rhythm. Some in your village herd elephants, a task both sacred and practical. Imagine guiding a young elephant, its trunk swaying, through the jungle to haul timber for a temple. The beast is gentle but massive, its steps shaking the earth, its breath warm as you lead it with a bamboo prod. Elephants are revered, used in war and ceremony, but their care is grueling, hours spent gathering fodder, your arms aching as you carry bundles of grass. Food is simple but vital. Picture a meal shared on your stilt house's platform, the air cooling as dusk settles. You eat sticky rice, fish caught from the Tonal Sap Lake, and tamarind paste, its tang sharp on your tongue. Coconut milk and palm sugar sweeten rare treats, while fermented fish paste prehakats savor to every dish. You eat with your hands, seated on mats, the fire's glow casting shadows. Hunger is a constant shadow. A poor harvest or flood could leave your pots empty, your children's faces thin. You trade surplus rice for salt or tools, haggling in the market, where vendors' voices rise over the squeal of pigs. Danger weaves through your days. Imagine the jungle's edge, where tigers prowl, their eyes glinting in the dusk, or snakes glide unseen through the grass. Fevers strike without warning, a child's cough turning to silence, the village's healer chanting over herbs that may not save. Bandits haunt trade routes, their blades a threat to travelers, and corvée labor forced work for the king pulls you from home to build roads or temples. Your absence, a strain on your family, yet the gods demand more. You offer rice at shrines, fearing their wrath, the air heavy with incense and whispered prayers. Life has its joys. Picture a festival for the rice harvest, the village alive with drums and laughter, dancers moving under torchlight, children chase each other, their feet splashing in puddles, while elders tell stories of gods and kings. You join a communal meal, the air rich with roasted fish and jasmine, your heart light despite the toil. At night, you lie beneath your stilt house, the jungle's hum a lullaby, the stars bright through the palms. Your life is hard, your hands rough, but the rhythm of the land rice rain and community holds you together. This world of mud and monsoons sets the stage for a king who built a city of stone. Let us turn now to the story of Jayavarman VII and the construction of Angkor Thom. Let your mind drift now, away from the muddy paddies and monsoon-soaked villages, to a time when one man's vision reshaped the Khmer Empire in stone. Picture yourself in the heart of Angkor, around 1181 CE, standing before a vast construction site, the air thick with dust and the rhythmic clink of chisels. Elephants haul massive sandstone blocks, their trunks swaying, while workers sweat under a relentless sun. This is the story of Jayavarman VII, a king whose faith and ambition built Angkor Thom, a city of gods and men. Settle in, let his journey unfold slowly, and feel the quiet weight of a reign that left an enduring mark. Imagine Jayavarman VII, a man in his late 50s, his face lined with resolve, his eyes bright with purpose. He stands tall, draped in silk adorned with gold thread, a parasol shading him from the sun. His path to the throne was not easy. Born a prince in the Khmer royal family, he spent years in exile, perhaps in the neighboring Champa kingdom, as rivalries tore at the empire. The Khmer faced turmoil. Invasions by the Khams in 1177 sacked Angkor, leaving temples in ruin, the people shaken. Picture Jayavarman returning, his heart set on restoring order, his mind alive with plans. By 1181, he defeats the Khams, their forces scattering, and claims the throne. His coronation a solemn rite under the gaze of Buddhist and Hindu gods. Jayavarman's vision is vast. Unlike his predecessors, he embraces Mahayana Buddhism, blending it with Khmer traditions, his faith a guide for his reign. He dreams of a capital that mirrors the cosmos, a city to honor the Buddha and secure his legacy. Picture the site of Angkor Thom, a swampy plain transformed by his will. Workers, farmers conscripted from villages like yours dig moats, their spades biting into earth, creating a square boundary a mile wide, its waters gleaming like a mirror. Canals snake outward, feeding rice fields, their flow a lifeline for the empire. The air hums with labor, the chant of monks blending with the creak of ox carts. The city rises slowly. Imagine masons carving sandstone, their chisels shaping blocks hauled from quarries 30 miles away. Elephants, guided by handlers, drag stones along paths, their steps heavy, their trunks dusted with earth. Temples take form, their towers, sculpted with lotus buds, their walls etched with scenes of gods and battles. At the city's heart stands the Bayon Jayavarman's state temple, its stone faces serene, smiling gazing over the land. Some say they depict the Buddha, others Jayavarman himself, his image acclaimed to divine favor. Picture workers climbing bamboo scaffolds, their hands steady, aligning stones without mortar, each fit perfect as a prayer. Jayavarman's ambition extends beyond Angkor Thom. He builds hospitals over 100 across the empire stocked with herbs and healers, their doors open to the sick. Picture a hospital, its wooden roof shading rows of mats, a monk tending a fevered child, the air sharp with galangal and sandalwood. He constructs rest houses along roads, their stone arches offering shade to travelers, and expands berets, vast reservoirs that store monsoon rains, their waters feeding fields in the dry season. These works, inscribed on steles, show a king who saw himself as protector, his rule a balance of power and compassion. Yet his reign is not without cost. Imagine the strain on villagers, farmers pulled from paddies to labor on temples, their hands raw from hauling stone. Taxes in rice and cloths weigh heavily, granaries filled for the king's projects. Some whisper of discontent, their voices low in markets, fearing spies. Wars continue against Champa, Vietnam draining men and wealth, the fields marked by those who do not return. Jayavarman, a Buddhist, avoids the bloodier rites of his Hindu predecessors, but his projects demand lives, the work relentless. The sun, unyielding dot, picture him in his palace, a wooden structure raised on stilts, its walls carved with dancers, its air cooled by palm fans. He consults monks and astrologers, their charts tracing the star's will, his decisions shaped by omens. His wife, Jayorajadevi, and sister, Indradevi, advise him, their wisdom guiding temple dedications. His son, perhaps a prince trained in war, stands ready to inherit, though the throne's future is uncertain. Jayavarman grows old, his body tiring, but his city endures. Its spires a testament to his vision. He dies around 1218, his passing quiet, the empire at its peak yet poised for decline. As you linger on Jayavarman's story, imagine Angkor Thom at dawn, its moat reflecting the first light, the Bayon's faces serene. His reign, a blend of faith and stone, reshaped a jungle into a cosmic city. Let this image fade as we turn to a mystery that haunts his legacy, the sudden abandonment of Angkor's cities. Let your mind drift now, away from the stone towers of Jayavarman, the sevenths, Angkor Thom, to a mystery that cloaks the Khmer Empire in silence. Picture yourself standing in the heart of Angkor, sometime in the 15th century, the air heavy with the hum of cicadas and the scent of jungle vines creeping over stone. The great temples Angkor Wat, the Bayon still rise, their carvings sharp, but the city feels empty, its streets quiet, its canals choked with silt. Once home to 1 million souls, Angkor was abandoned, its people vanishing into history. Why did this vibrant civilization fade? Settle in, let this enigma unfold slowly, and feel the quiet weight of a world reclaimed by the jungle. Imagine walking through Angkor Thom, its massive gates carved with elephants, their trunks curling in stone. The moat glimmers, but the markets are silent, their stalls empty. The air no longer thick with the chatter of vendors or the clink of bronze coins. Temples, once alive with chants, stand deserted, their altars bare, their walls streaked with moss. The bearers' vast reservoirs that watered the rice fields sit stagnant, their banks crumbling. You pause at the Bayon, its smiling faces gazing over a city that no longer answers. The jungle encroaches, roots twisting through stone, as if the earth itself is swallowing Angkor's glory. The abandonment, often dated to the 15th century, perhaps around 1431, is a puzzle with no single answer. Picture the Khmer Empire at its height under Jayavarman VII, its cities thriving, its fields lush with rice. But even then, cracks were forming. The king's grand projects, temples, hospitals, roads strained the people, pulling farmers from fields to haul stone. Their labor feeding the king's vision, but draining villages. Imagine a farmer, his hands rough from years of toil, returning to find his paddy flooded or parched, his family hungry. The system, built on rice and monsoons, was fragile, its balance easily tipped. One theory points to the environment. Picture the monsoons, once reliable, growing erratic, their rains too heavy or too sparse. Scholars studying tree rings and sediments suggest climate shifts around the 14th century, droughts that withered crops, followed by floods that breached canals. The berets, marvels of engineering, relied on careful maintenance. Imagine workers struggling to clear silt, their spades sinking into mud as water levels fell. Without enough rice, the city's heart faltered, granaries emptied, and villagers moved to smaller settlements. Their stilt houses dotting the jungle's edge. Another shadow looms: invasion. Picture Ayutthaya, a rising Thai kingdom to the west, its armies pressing into Khmer lands. In 1431, they sacked Angkor, their warriors torching wooden palaces, their footsteps echoing through looted temples. The attack, though not fatal, weakened the city, its people fleeing or taken captive, the fields left untended. Imagine a family abandoning their home, their mats and pots left behind, as they seek safety in distant villages. Yet the Thai threat was not constant. Some argue it only hastened a decline already underway, the city's pulse slowing before the final blow. Religion adds another layer. Jayavarman, fees, Buddhism, clashed with the Hindu traditions of earlier kings, like Suryavarman II, who built Angkor Wat for Vishnu. Picture priests in temples, their chants shifting from Hindu to Buddhist hymns, their rituals dividing the court. By the 14th century, Theravada Buddhism, simpler and less tied to grand monuments, spread among the people. Imagine monks in saffron robes, their teachings urging detachment, drawing devotion away from the ziggurats. Did the elite, tied to old gods, lose their grip as the people turned to new beliefs, leaving temples empty? Trade and politics shifted. To picture the rise of maritime routes, with ports in Vietnam and Thailand drawing merchants away from Angkor's land-based trade. The city, once a hub, grew isolated, its markets quieter, its coffers leaner. Internal strife rivaled princes, feuding nobles may have fractured the court, their plots whispered in palace corridors. Imagine a king, his throne unsteady, unable to rally workers to repair canals or temples, his authority slipping as villagers turned inward. The sources are scarce, their voices faint. Inscriptions on steles, once boasting of king's deeds, grow sparse after Jayavarman VII. Chinese travelers, like Zhou Daguan in 1296, describe a vibrant Angkor, but even then, he notes strained fields and overworked farmers. By the 16th century, European visitors found ruins, the city a ghost, its stones claimed by roots. Picture a monk, the last to pray at Angkor Wat, his lamp flickering, his footsteps echoing in empty halls. Did the people leave slowly, over generations, or in a sudden exodus? The jungle keeps their secret, its vines a shroud over the past. Angkor's culture, though, lingers. Imagine the rituals that filled its temples, dances for the gods. There, movements carved in stone, or offerings of rice and lotus, their scent rising to the heavens. The Khmer saw their cities as cosmic, their temples mirroring the stars. Even as they left, they carried their stories, their art, their faith, seeding new villages with old ways. Picture yourself standing amid the ruins, the air still, the stones warm under your hand, their carvings a whisper of a lost world. As you hold this image, Angkor's silent spires, the jungle's quiet embracelet, it guides us to our final segment, to the lives of those who shaped this city, the royal architects, Apsara dancers, and the splendor of the Khmer court. Let your mind drift now, away from the silent ruins of Angkor's abandoned cities, to the vibrant heart of the Khmer Empire at its peak. Picture yourself in Angkor Thom, around 1200 CE, standing in a stone palace, its walls carved with intricate bas-reliefs, the air warm with the scent of sandalwood and lotus blossoms. The hum of chanting monks blends with the soft jingle of anklets as the elite royal architects, apsara dancers, and courtiers move through a world of splendor and duty. This is the life of the Khmer nobility, a delicate dance of power, art, and divine favor. Settle in, let their story unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a court where every gesture was a prayer. Imagine yourself as a royal architect, a master of stone and vision, tasked with building temples that mirror the cosmos. Your home is a grand wooden house on stone stilts, its roof tiled with clay, its courtyard shaded by frangipani trees. You rise at dawn, your silk sarong crisp, and walk to the temple site, a leather-bound plan tucked under your arm. Your work is sacred. You design structures like the Bayon or Angkor Wat, their towers aligned with the stars, their walls etched with gods and kings. Picture yourself sketching on palm leaves, your charcoal tracing lotus spires, as masons carve sandstone nearby, their chisels ringing in the morning air. Your mind calculates angles, ensuring each block fits without mortar, a testament to your skill. Your role is revered but demanding. Imagine overseeing hundreds of workers, farmers conscripted from villages, their hands rough from hauling stone. You guide them gently, your voice calm, pointing to where an elephant should place a block, its trunk swaying. The king, perhaps, Jayavarman Tuju, inspects your progress, his parasol casting shade, his nod a rare reward. A misaligned tower or cracked relief could shame you, your name erased from inscriptions. Yet success brings honor. Your temples, like Priya Khan, house shrines and libraries, their walls glowing with torchlight, their beauty abridged to the divine dot. Now picture an apsara dancer, a woman of grace and training, her life dedicated to the gods. She lives in the palace precinct, her quarters adorned with woven silks and bronze mirrors. Her sarong shimmers with gold thread, her hair pinned with jasmine, its scent lingering as she moves. From childhood, she trained in the temple, her body learning the slow, precise gestures of Khmer, dance fingers curling like petals, feet gliding on stone. Imagine her performing at a festival, her anklets chiming, her movements telling stories of Vishnu or the Ramayana. The court watches, their breath hushed, as torchlight flickers on her gilded headdress. Her dance an offering to the heavens. Her life is disciplined. Picture her rising before dawn, practicing in a courtyard, her muscles aching as she perfects each pose. She eats lightly rice mango, fish paste, her body kept lithe for the gods. Her role is sacred, her beauty a symbol of divine favor, but also a duty. She performs at coronations or temple rites, her steps blessing the king's rule. Yet, she is not free-bound to the court, her life watched by priests and queens. A faltering step could displease the gods, her place lost to a younger dancer. Still, her dance lives on, carved in Angkor's reliefs, her form frozen in stone. Court itself is a world of splendor. Imagine a royal banquet, held in a hall open to the breeze, its columns carved with Naga serpent deities. Nobles recline on silk cushions, their jewelry gold bangles, jade pendants clinking softly. Servants offer trays of roasted boar, coconut curries, and sticky rice wrapped in banana leaves, the air rich with turmeric and lemongrass. Musicians play, their bronze gongs and bamboo flutes weaving a gentle melody, while poets recite hymns, their words praising the king as Vishnu's avatar. The scene is radiant, yet every smile hides ambition, every glance a calculation. Priests and advisors hold power. To picture a high priest, his robes heavy with embroidery, offering incense at a shrine, his chants invoking Shiva or the Buddha. He reads omens in the stars or a bird's flight, his words guiding royal decisions. Overseers, clad in silk, manage the king's estates, their tablets tracking rice and labor, their authority backed by guards with bronze-tipped spears. Intrigue threads through the court, nobles vie for favor, priests guard temple wealth, and queens, like Jayavarman's wife, Jayaroga Devi, wield influence, their counsel shaping laws or wars. A whispered rumor could mean exile, a misstep, a silent end. Life is not without ease. Imagine a noble bathing in a stone pool, its water scented with lotus, or strolling a garden where peacocks roam, their feathers glinting. Children of the elite learn to read Sanskrit, their fingers tracing palm leaf texts, or train in archery, their bows taught. Festivals fill the year, monsoon rites, where dancers spin under rain-soaked skies, or New Year feasts, where the king processes on an elephant, its howdah draped in silk, yet duty binds them. Architects plan temples, priests pray for harvests, and all serve the gods, whose wrath floods, plagues looms over even the mighty. Picture the court at dusk, the palace glowing with lamps, the ziggurat silhouette, sharp against the sky. The elite, with their art and rituals, crafted a world of stone and spirit, their lives a delicate balance of splendor and service. Let this image linger as we move toward our conclusion, reflecting on the Khmer Empire and the quiet comfort of your own night. Let your mind rest now, lingering in the lush, intricate world of the Khmer Empire, where stone temples rose from jungle shadows and the rhythm of monsoons shaped every life. Picture yourself one last time in Angkor, the air soft with the scent of rain and jasmine, the spires of Angkor Wat catching the fading light. We've walked the muddy fields of farmers, traced the ambitions of Jayavarman VII, pondered the mystery of a city's abandonment, and glimpsed the splendor of architects and Apsara dancers. Now, as this world fades, let its weight settle gently, like petals on a quiet pool. The Khmer built a civilization of breathtaking beauty, their lives woven with toil, faith, and the pulse of the land. Imagine a farmer pausing to gaze at a temple's towers, his hands rough with earth, or a dancer's silhouette against a torchlit hall, her movements a prayer. Their story, carved in stone and whispered in legend, speaks of a people who balanced human effort with divine aspiration, their legacy enduring in the ruins that still stand. Angkor's grandeur, though faded, echoes in the jungle's embrace, a testament to their dreams. That, as you lie here tonight, let the Khmer Empire drift away, its heat and hustle giving way to the calm of your own space. No monsoons threaten your fields, no kings demand your labor, no jungles hide unseen dangers. Your world is softer, its rhythms gentler, its burdens lighter. The struggles of farmers, the visions of kings, the dances of the court are now a quiet lullaby, easing you toward rest. Let them fade, let the silence deepen, and sink into the peace of this moment. Good night. Ease into the quiet of this moment, and let your mind wander to a land of shimmering palaces and vast, dusty plains, where the scent of sandalwood mingles with the distant clash of steel. Tonight, we journey to the Mughal Empire at its zenith, a realm of opulence and conflict in the heart of India. This is not a tale of sudden battles or grand heroics, but a slow, soothing exploration of a world where soldiers marched under monsoon skies, a great emperor wove diverse faiths, a city fell silent, and nobles lived in gilded splendor. Picture yourself there, the air warm with spices and rain, the horizon glowing with the domes of Agra. As you settle in, let the rhythm of this story guide you, unhurried, and if sleep calls, let it come gently. We begin with the daily life of a soldier in the Mughal army, where duty and endurance shaped every step. Imagine yourself waking before dawn in a sprawling military camp, somewhere in northern India. Around 1570 CE, the air is heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and wood smoke. As the first rains of the monsoon patter on your canvas tent, you rise from a thin cotton mat, your body stiff from yesterday's march, and don a simple tunic of rough cotton, dyed ochre, with a leather belt holding a curved dagger. You are a soldier in the Mughal army, one of thousands serving the emperor. Your life, a rhythm of discipline, danger, and devotion to the empire's might. The camp stirs around you, horses snorting, men murmuring, the clank of armor faint in the distance. Your day begins with drills. Picture yourself standing in a muddy field, rain dripping from your turban, as a commander barks orders in Persian. The court's tongue, you grip a wooden spear, its shaft worn smooth, and move in formation with your unit, feet sinking into the mire. The Mughal army is vast, a mix of infantry, cavalry, and archers, drawn from Rajputs, Afghans, and local recruits. Like you practice thrusts and parries, your muscles aching, the air alive with the thud of shields and the twang of bow drills. Drills are endless, meant to forge discipline, for a single misstep in battle could unravel the line, leaving the field strewn with the fallen. Marching defines your life. Imagine trudging across the Deccan Plateau, your sandals caked with mud, the monsoon turning paths to rivers. Your pack carrying rice, a blanket, and a flintlock musket digs into your shoulders, its weight a constant burden. The army moves in columns, elephants lumbering ahead, their trunks swaying, their howdahs piled with supplies. You march for hours, the sun breaking through clouds, its heat steaming the damp cloth against your skin. Camps are set at dusk, tents, pitched on soggy ground, fires struggling to burn. You eat sparingly flatbread, lentils, a sip of curdled milk, your stomach often empty. Hunger, a familiar companion. Serving elephants is a task both honored and grueling. Picture yourself assigned to a war elephant, its massive frame towering, its hide rough under your hand. These beasts, clad in iron plates, carry archers or nobles in battle. Their trumpets a roar that shakes the earth. You feed it bales of grass, hauled from nearby fields, your arms straining under the load. You scrub its skin with river water, dodging its swinging trunk, and clean its stable, the air sharp with dung and straw. The elephant is a symbol of the emperor's power, but its care falls to you. Your nights spent soothing its restlessness, your hands calloused from ropes. Life is not without camaraderie. Imagine sitting by a campfire, the rain, a soft drum on the tent, sharing stories with fellow soldiers. A Rajput tells of his clan's honor, his voice proud. An Afghan hums a mountain tune, his knife carving a stick. You trade bits of dried mango or betel nut, its chew staining your teeth red. Music lifts the camper flute's mournful note, a drum's steady beat as men sing of home or glory. Yet danger looms. Bandits stalk the roads, their blades swift in the dark, and disease fevers dysentery claims men. Their bodies left by rivers, mourned with quiet prayers. The emperor's will shapes your world. Picture a royal decree arriving, a scroll read by an officer ordering a campaign against the rebellious Nawab. You march to war, your heart steady but wary, knowing battle awaits. Fights are fierce but brief, the air thick with dust and cries. The ground marked by those who fall, their lives fading under the sun. You carry a talisman, a thread, blessed by a priest, hoping it shields you. Between campaigns, you guard forts, or patrol trade routes, your eyes scanning for spies or raiders. The empire's peace resting on your vigilance. Moments of rest are rare. Imagine a festival in a nearby town, the army pausing for a Hindu or Muslim holy day. You join the crowd, the air rich with saffron and rosewater, watching dancers spin under lanterns. You offer a coin at a shrine, the incense curling, your prayer for safety soft. At night, you lie in your tent, the monsoon's rhythm lulling. You, the camps, hum horses, men, distant drums a familiar embrace. Your life is hard, your body worn, but the empire's glory, its banners fluttering, binds you to its cause. This world of marches and duty sets the stage for a ruler who forged an empire of unity. Let us turn now to the story of Akbar the Great and his multi-religious empire. Let your mind drift now, away from the muddy marches and elephant stables of a Mughal soldier's life, to the heart of an empire shaped by one man's vision. Picture yourself in Agra, around 1570 CE, standing before the red sandstone walls of the imperial fort, its turrets glowing in the evening sun. The air carries the scent of jasmine and roasted spices, and the Yamuna River flows gently nearby, reflecting the city's bustle. This is the story of Akbar the Great, a Mughal emperor whose reign wove together Hindus, Muslims, and others into a tapestry of unity, creating a multi-religious empire that shone like a jewel in India's history. Settle in, let his journey unfold slowly, and feel the quiet weight of a ruler who balanced power with tolerance. Imagine Akbar, a young man of 14, ascending the throne in 1556. His frame slight, but his presence commanding. His turban is adorned with a single pearl, his robes of silk embroidered with gold, yet his eyes burn with curiosity. Born in exile to Emperor Humayun, Akbar inherited a fractured realm, its provinces restless under Mughal rule. He is no scholar illiterate, in fact, but his mind is sharp, his memory vast, his ear tuned to the council of advisors. Picture him in his court, seated on a cushioned throne, listening to poets, generals, and priests. Their voices a chorus of Persian, Hindi, and Turkic tongues. Akbar's early years are marked by conquest. Imagine him riding with his army, a war elephant at his side, its armor clanking as he leads campaigns across northern India. By his 20s, he subdues Rajput kingdoms, their forts falling after sieges, the fields marked by fleeting clashes where lives are lost to sword and musket. Yet Akbar is not merely a warrior. He seeks alliance over destruction, marrying Rajput princesses, Hindu women who keep their faith. their chambers adorned with Krishna idols. Picture a wedding in a palace, the air rich with saffron, Hindu chants, blending with Muslim prayers, a symbol of his vision for unity. His greatest legacy is tolerance. Picture Akbar in Fethifer Sikri, his new capital, hosting debates in the Abadat Khana, a hall where schismas live, Hindu, Jain, Christian, Zoroastrian discuss theology. He sits cross-legged, his face calm, as voices rise, arguing the nature of God. He abolishes the jizya, attacks on non-Muslims, easing tensions, and appoints Hindus like Raja Man Singh to high ranks, their loyalty strengthening his rule. Imagine a Hindu festival, Holi, celebrated in the court, colors dusting the air. Akbar laughing as he tosses powder, his guards joining in. His policy, Solikalu universal tolerance, binds diverse peoples, their faiths coexisting under his gaze. Akbar's empire thrives on order. Picture his administration, a network of scribes and governors, their ledgers tracking taxes in rice, cloth, and silver. He reforms land revenue, measuring fields with ropes, ensuring farmers like those we met pay fairly, their burdens lighter. He builds roads, their milestones carved in stone, and caravanserais, their arches shading traders, from Persia to Bengal. Imagine a market in Delhi, its stalls brimming with silk, indigo, and pearls. Merchants bowing as Akbar's inspectors pass, their seals ensuring honest trade. His army, vast and disciplined, guards this prosperity, its elephants and cavalry, a shield against rebellion. Yet his reign is not without challenge. Picture rebellions in Gujarat or Bengal, their leaders rallying against Mughal taxes, their forces quelled by Akbar's generals, the plains quiet but heavy with loss. His own sons, raised in luxury, grow restless, their plots whispered in palace corridors. Akbar's faith, too, stirs debate. He creates the Din-i-Ilahi, a syncretic creed, blending Islam, Hinduism, and more, but few adopt it, priests murmuring dissent. Imagine him praying alone, his lamp flickering, seeking divine guidance. In a world of competing truths, his court is a marvel. Picture Fethifer Sikri's halls, their columns carved with lotuses, where poets like Faizi recite Persian verses, their words soft as silk. Artists paint miniatures, their brushes tracing Akbar's battles or courtly scenes, their colors vivid, with lapis and gold. Musicians play the sitar, its notes drifting through gardens where fountains bubble. Akbar, a patron of art, commissions translations of the Mahabharata into Persian, bridging cultures. Imagine him walking these halls, his steps measured, his mind weaving plans for an empire that endures. Akbar rules for nearly 50 years, dying in 1605, his body laid to rest in a simple tomb, his legacy vast. Picture Agra at dusk, the forts, walls glowing, the empire at peace under his sons. His reign, a blend of conquest and compassion, made the Mughal Empire a beacon of diversity. Let this image fade as we turn to a mystery tied to his reign, the sudden abandonment of Fethifer Sikri, a city left to silence. Let your mind drift now, away from the vibrant court of Akbar the Great, to a quieter enigma that lingers in the heart of his empire. Picture yourself in Fethifer Sikri, around 1585 CE, standing on a sandstone terrace, the air warm with the scent of dust and blooming champa flowers. The city, once the Mughal capital, hums with life, merchants haggling, priests chanting, water trickling in marble fountains. Yet, within a generation, it falls silent, its halls empty, its streets reclaimed by the wind. Why was Fethifer Sikri abandoned? Settle in, let this mystery unfold slowly, and feel the gentle weight of a city that faded into shadow. Imagine walking through Fethifer Sikri at its peak, its red sandstone walls glowing under the sun, their carvings of lotuses and vines sharp in the light. The city, built by Akbar in the 1570s, is a marvel, its layout a blend of Persian and Indian design. Picture the Duaniyam, a vast courtyard where Akbar hears petitions, his throne shaded by a canopy of silk. Nearby, the Panch Mahal, a 5-story pavilion, catches the breeze, its open pillars framing views of fields and hills. The Jama Masjid, its white marble dome gleaming, draws worshippers, their prayers rising with the scent of incense. The city feels eternal, its stones carved to last. Fethifer Sikri was born from devotion. Picture Akbar, inspired by the Sufi saint Salam Chishti, choosing this rocky ridge to honor the saint's prophecy of a son's birth. The city, named City of Victory after Akbar's Gujarat campaign, becomes his capital in 1571, a hub for his multi-religious empire. Imagine its streets, alive with Rajput nobles in turbans, Persian scribes with inked fingers, and Hindu traders balancing scales of saffron and cloth. Water flows through channels, drawn from a nearby lake, feeding gardens and baths, their surfaces shimmering. The city, home to thousands, pulses with the empire's ambitions. Yet, by the early 1600s, it is deserted. Picture yourself returning, years later, to find the markets silent, their stalls empty, the air heavy with dust. The palace halls echo only with your footsteps, their mosaics dulled by time. The mosque stands quiet, its courtyard bare, save for lizards skittering across. Stone, the water channels are dry, their basins cracked, the gardens withered under an unforgiving sun. The city, once a beacon, is a ghost. Its abandonment, a puzzle that scholars still ponder, its causes woven from threads of environment, politics, and practicality. One theory points to water. Imagine the lake that fed Fetifa Sikri, its surface shrinking in the dry season, its channels clogging with silt. The city's aqueducts, a feat of engineering, relied on steady water, but droughts hinted at in Mughal records may have starved the system. Picture workers, their hands rough from digging, struggling to deepen wells, their efforts failing as springs dried. Without water, the city's gardens faded, its baths emptied, its people forced to seek greener lands. Akbar, ever pragmatic, may have moved the court to Lahore or Agra, where rivers like the Yamuna flowed reliably. But politics offers another clue. Picture Akbar's empire, vast and restless, its borders stretching from Bengal to Afghanistan. By the 1580s, rebellions in the northwest demand his attention, drawing him to Lahore, closer to troubled frontiers. Imagine the court packing scrolls and silks, elephants carrying nobles' households, as Fetifa Sikri is left to caretakers. The city, built for a moment of triumph, was less suited as a permanent capital, its rocky hill distant from trade routes. When Akbar's son Jahangir takes the throne in 1605, he favors Agra, leaving Fetifa Sikri to fade. Its purpose tied to his father's vision. Cultural shifts play a role too. Imagine the Sufi saint's tomb, a marble shrine within the Jama Masjid, drawing pilgrims in Akbar's time. But as his syncretic ideals like the Dinia Lahif's resistance, the city's spiritual pull weakens. Picture priests and nobles, loyal to older traditions, urging a return to Agra's older forts, their mosques and temples more established. The city, a symbol of Akbar's tolerance, may have lost favor as his successors leaned towards stricter Islam, their courts less tied to a Sufi saint's legacy. The sources are vague, their words scattered. Mughal chronicles note Akbar's move to Lahore by 1585, but none pinpoint why Fetifa Sikri was left behind. European travelers, visiting decades later, describe a city already quiet, its stones weathering under monsoon rains. Picture a caretaker, the last to walk its halls, sweeping dust from a courtyard, his lamp a lone glow. Was the abandonment sudden, a royal decree emptying the city, or gradual, as families drifted away? The stones offer no answer. Their carvings dancers, elephants, stars a silent testament to a lost era. Fetifa Sikri's culture endures in its art. Imagine its walls, etched with Persian poetry and Hindu motifs, a blend of faiths mirroring Akbar's dream. Music filled its courts, sitars and tablas echoing, while painters crafted miniatures, their brushes tracing scenes of hunts and feasts. The city's brief life, barely 15 years as a capital, left a legacy in its stones. Now, a UNESCO site, their beauty haunting. Picture yourself there. The air still, the sandstone warm under your hand, a whisper of a world that was dot. As you hold this image Fetifa Sikri's empty halls, its carvings fading lit, it guides us to our final segment, to the lives of those who filled the Mughal courts, the women of the Zanana, the poets, and the grandeur of Shah Jahan. Let your mind drift now, away from the silent stones of Fetifa Sikri, to the opulent heart of the Mughal Empire at its peak. Picture yourself in Agra, around 1630 CE, standing within the red sandstone walls of the imperial fort, its arches glowing with inlaid marble. The air is warm, scented with rosewater and saffron. the hum of poetry blending with the soft splash of fountains. This is the world of the Mughal elite Zenana women, poets, and nobles living in a realm of splendor under Shah Jahan, the emperor whose love for beauty shaped an era. Settle in, let their lives unfold slowly, and feel the rhythm of a court, where every moment was a work of art. Imagine yourself as a noble in Shah Jahan's court, perhaps a mansabdar, a ranked official granted land and wealth. Your home is a marble mansion within the fort, its floors cooled by woven rugs, its windows screened with yoli-carved stone lattice casting patterns of light. You rise at dawn, your silk curtain crisp, its embroidery glinting with gold thread. Your day begins with a visit to the Duanikas, the hall of private audiences, where Shah Jahan sits on a peacock throne, its gems sparkling, his presence a blend of majesty and grace. You bow, your turban low, offering a report on your provinces, taxis, your words measured to please the emperor. The Zanana, the women's quarters, is a world of power and elegance. Picture a princess like Jahanara Shah, Jahan's daughter, her chambers draped in silk, their walls painted with flowers. She wears a Peshwa's gown, its fabric sheer, adorned with pearls, her wrists heavy with bangles of jade and gold. Her role is not mere ornament. She manages the Zenana's wealth, oversees charity, and advises her father. Her letters sealed with a sapphire ring. Imagine her reading Persian poetry by lamplight, her voice soft, or hosting feasts where women sip sherbet, their laughter mingling with the notes of a sitar. The Zenana is a court within a court, its women wielding influence behind marble screens, their words shaping royal decisions. Poets are the soul of the court. Picture a Sher, his turban adorned with a single feather, reciting verses in the public hall. His words, in Persian or Urdu, weave tales of love and valor, their cadence soothing, their imagery rich with rivers and stars. Shah Jahan, a patron of art, listens, his nod a high honor. Imagine poets gathered in a garden, their inkpots and palm leaf manuscripts spread on rugs, competing in Mushra poetry recitals under lantern light. Their verses, etched in flowing nostalgic script, are treasures, copied by scribes, their pages bound in leather studded with turquoise. The court's splendor is unmatched. Picture a banquet in the fort, its hall open to a courtyard where fountains dance. Nobles recline on cushions, their turbans glinting with emeralds, as servants offer silver trays of biryani, its rice flecked with saffron, and kebabs spiced with cumin. Rosewater cools the air, poured from ewers into cups of jade. Musicians play, their tablas pulsing, while dancers in flowing skirts spin, their anklets chiming. Shah Jahan, seated at the center, commissions a new mausoleum, the Taj Mahal. His late wife Mumtaz, its white marble rising across the Yamuna, a monument to love and empire. Art and architecture define the elite. Imagine a calligrapher, his reed pen dipping into ink, crafting verses for a Quran, its pages gilded with lapis. Painters create miniatures, their brushes tracing Shah Jahan on horseback or a garden in bloom, their colors vivid as jewels. Architects design mosques, their domes soaring, their minarets etched with verses. Picture the Red Fort in Delhi, its halls cooled by channels of water, its walls inlaid with Petra Dura floral patterns in agate and malachite. Every detail, from a carved arch to a poet's line, reflects the empire's wealth and vision. Yet life is not without tension. Imagine a noble navigating court intrigue, his smile hiding rivalry with a fellow mansabdar. A whispered rumor could cost favor, a failed campaign exiled to a distant fort. Zenana, women, like Jahanara, balanced loyalty to fathers and brothers, their influence a delicate game. Poets risk disfavor if their verses offend, their livelihoods tied to royal whim. Picture a council meeting, nobles debating taxes or war, their voices low, aware of spies in silken robes. The emperor's justice, his swift rebellion means a quiet end, the palace's beauty masking its dangers. Daily life has its comforts. Picture a noble bathing in a hammam, its steam scented with eucalyptus, its mosaics gleaming. He strolls gardens, their paths lined with mango trees, or hunts deer on horseback, his falcon soaring above. Children of the elite study Persian and mathematics, their tutors patient, their books bound in velvet. Festivals fill the year-Eid with prayers and sweets, Diwali with lamps and fireworks, uniting faiths in celebration. Yet all serve the emperor, their wealth a gift of his favor, their prayers seeking divine protection for the empire. Picture the court at dusk, the Taj Mahal's silhouette glowing across the river, the fort alive with music and light. The elite, with their poetry and palaces, crafted a world of breathtaking beauty, their lives a delicate balance of art and ambition. Let this image linger as we move toward our conclusion, reflecting on the Mughal Empire and the quiet comfort of your own night. Let your mind rest now, lingering in the radiant world of the Mughal Empire, where marble palaces gleamed under starlit skies and the hum of poetry filled the air. Picture yourself one last time in Agra, the red fort's arches glowing softly, the Yamuna River flowing quietly, its waters catching the light of a fading sun. We've marched with soldiers through monsoon rains, traced the reign of Akbar's inclusive empire, pondered the silent fall of Fetefest Tekri, and glimpsed the splendor of Zenana women and poets in Shah Jahan's court. Now, as this world fades, let its weight settle gently. Like petals on a still river, the Mughals built an empire of dazzling beauty, their lives woven with discipline, faith, and artistry. Imagine a soldier pausing to watch the Taj Mahal rise, his hands rough from drills, or a poet reciting verses in a lantern-lit garden, his words a fleeting gift. Their story, etched in stone and song, speaks of a people who balanced conquest with creation, their legacy enduring in the domes and miniatures that still captivate. The Mughal world, though distant, echoes in its blend of cultures, its grandeur a whisper of human striving. As you lie here tonight, let the Mughal Empire drift away, its splendor and struggles giving way to the calm of your own space. No monsoons soak your path, no emperors demand your service, no courts hide whispered intrigues. Your world is softer, its rhythms gentler, its burdens lighter. The marches of soldiers, the dreams of kings, the verses of poets are now a quiet lullaby, easing you toward rest. Let them fade, let the silence deepen and sink into the peace of this moment. Good night,